Hello, welcome to Sport Talk with me, Steve Brown, and news editor Mike Kelly. This week, Mike, we'll kick off with Newcastle. Stories at the weekend, again about possible takeovers, denied left, right and centre. But these stories aren't going to go away, are they?
They're not. It's part of Mr. Ashley's fault. You never quite feel he's settled in at Newcastle United. So, like I say, these rumours will always continue. We know he's been parading the shirt, wearing it with pride, watching the Newcastle United games, but there's still a feeling, I think, amongst the Newcastle United fans that he's not really here to stay. He's probably in it to make a bit of money. So, like I say, these takeover talks will continue. My favourite was the one the other week where the Bin Laden family was supposed to be interested. That would have been an interesting one, particularly for American tours. But like I say, they'll continue. And like I say, this one, it looks like the papers were flying a kite at the weekend because it was so quickly denied. Yeah.
I mean, the thing for me is he's finally started talking to the press in the last month or so, but he's talking about having fun. I don't think fans want to hear that. I think they want to see money on the table.
That's right.
And not just as much as 8 or 9 million would do you and me. They're not. That's not much in the context of where fans want to see Newcastle going.
That's right. I think we've been spoilt in the past. Everything from the Shearer signing, £15 million. It seems like a lifetime ago. Now, like you say, he seems to be scratching around. Perhaps another reason why these takeover talks these takeover stories are there, because there's so little activity in the transfer market for Newcastle. It must be quite concerning, because having watched briefly the friendlies over in Spain, they looked a bit pedestrian and lacking in invention and creativity, and particularly up front. They haven't scored for 3 games. That must be a concern. I realise Owen and Viduka are out, but surely there must be someone there. Someone else would step up to the plate, otherwise they've got big problems. Absolutely,
and speaking of signings as well, I mean, they've already got Owen there with a year to go in his contract. It's really important now, isn't it, when you mentioned the lack of goals, that they get him signed to a longer deal.
They should just basically lock him in a room, whoever signs these people, lock them together in a room until he signs on the dotted line, because he's vital for Newcastle, as we saw in Spain.
And just turning to Sunderland, again, we're talking about signings. I like the way that Keane's gone towards Premiership experience. The latest has been Nicky Shaw. You would think maybe they'd go back in with a renewed bid for that. That's really the way to take them on, isn't it?
That's right. He's made some excellent signs. We talked last week about Mr. Juff. Now we're talking about Louis Saha. He's an interesting one. He's a very good player, but he's a bit of a sick note. But like you say, if he signs him up, could be a good acquisition, because he's got the Premiership experience. It must be quite exciting times for Sunderland fans, because compared to the inactivity at Newcastle, they've been throwing the money around, so they must be really looking forward to the season with a great deal of excitement.
And good news for them this week. It looks like Cameron Jones is only going to be probably up to 2 months into the season. It doesn't require major surgery.
That's great news, because there was talk about him not playing till beginning of next year. When people say something like that, it shows it's a really serious injury. So if this is true, it's a massive boost, because he was a great plus for Sunderland last year. He was much coveted as well. There was talk, I think, at one stage at Arsenal being interested in him. So that's great news for Sunderland.
A bit quieter on the Middlesbrough front. They've already got 2 players in, and there's talk of maybe going for James Harper from Reading.
That's right.
I would think that they'll step up the bid for that now that Julio Arca looks like being out for a month or 2.
That's right, yeah.
But the key question there is the goalkeeper situation, having let Schwarzer go. I think Southgate's taken a bit of a risk. I hope it works for him, but I think it's a big risk putting his faith in one of the 2 youngsters.
Yeah, well, Schwartz was such a mainstay. Middlesbrough was there for years. I mean, he had the odd error, but generally he's very, very reliable. He's a big, imposing goalkeeper, and that's what you need. The keepers they've got at the moment, like I said, are pretty young and inexperienced. It is a gamble. Perhaps he has more faith in them than we have. Perhaps he's got a very good reason for that. But I think it is a bit of a concern for the Borough fans that they haven't really got a really experienced, reliable shot stopper.
Otherwise, I think they're in quite good shape, actually, and I think that they can have quite a good season.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. They ended last season pretty well. I think if they could develop from that, I think Middlesbrough, I don't think any of our teams will be in relegation trouble next year. It's just how far they'll go up the league. At the moment, going by signings and the buzz around the place, I think it looks likely that Sunderland will probably, at the moment, will be the team to watch out for in the North East.
Over to you, Mr. Ashley.
Yes.